separation for safety is not shame. You see, in some churches, once a woman separates or divorces, they start to treat her like she is spiritually contaminated. Because you left an abusive situation, that doesn't mean you failed as a child of God. Your marital status is not your spiritual identity. If you are in a church and all you receive is judgment and condemnation and shame, leave that church. So today is day 5 of divorce and the church. And my topic today about separation versus segregation. You see, you are not a second-class citizen just because you chose to survive. You are not less than any other person, especially not less than a married woman, just because you chose peace over chaos. You see, in some churches, once a woman separates or divorces, they start to treat her like she is spiritually contaminated. And that was why I had an issue with the message that lady that made us start this challenge was saying.
Don't follow a divorcee as your friend, even if it's your sister. Teach her, either she reconcile with the husband or she remarry.
I had a big problem with that message because she's saying don't be friends with divorced women. Even if you're sisters with them, you shouldn't be. It's saying we that are divorced are contaminated. And that's a very, very wrong message. That's not good news. That's not gospel. The gospel is good news. So yes, in some churches, they treat you like you're contaminated just because you chose to divorce. Why? Because you wanted to leave. You didn't want to die. They will say she can no longer lead. You can't lead any department. No one wants to know her story, what she survived. They will say, oh, let's hear from the other side. Somebody's telling you she survived abuse. People whisper, they will avoid you. They won't want your children to play with their own children. Even they extend the contamination thinking to your children. Men misread you. Suddenly you have married men approach you, disrespect you, thinking you are vulnerable just because you separated or you divorced. The church quietly pushes a woman away from church. They quietly push you away from God. They push you, they quietly do this. They don't know how they do it. They push you either back into the abusive space or far from God. But you see, separation for safety is not shame. I'm talking to you woman that has left an abusive, chaotic situation and chosen peace and chosen survival. For you to leave is not shame. You shouldn't be ashamed. They should be ashamed for shaming you. Living abuse is not a spiritual battle. It's not a spiritual failure. You did not fail as a child of God. Because you left an abusive situation, that doesn't mean you failed as a child of God. Jesus still loves you. He loves you so much. Nothing can separate you from His love. Choosing peace does not make you less anointed. Your giftings, what God has deposited in you, is still there. That greatness is still there. You are not less than anybody else. God does not reduce a woman's value because she refused to be destroyed. God is going to ask you, all the gifts I gave you, what did you do with it? Like the parable of the talents or the story of the talents. He's going to ask you, what did you do with it? Oh God, it was because I was in an abusive situation and because you said you hate divorce. No, God did not say do not divorce. He hates what leads to divorce.
You're still there. Go and subscribe. Let us help more women come out of domestic abuse. And let's help more men understand how to love a woman. Yes, go and subscribe. Share my post. Subscribe and join the family. Because we're not just healing. We're thriving. We're growing. We're making money. We're building a better society. And above all, we're creating better spaces and society for our children. You're not part of my village people. Abi, they sent you to me. Tell them that you did not see me. Yeah, go and subscribe.
Your marital status is not your spiritual identity. Does not determine if you make heaven or not. Does not determine if God will love you less or more. Because nothing, absolutely nothing will separate you from God's love. You are still God's doctor. You're still called. You're still worthy of His love. You're covered. Grace is still covering you. Grace did not depart from you because you divorced. Hear me and hear me loudly. Grace did not depart from you because you divorced. Romans 8:1. There is no condemnation for those in Christ Jesus. You are in Christ Jesus, so there's no condemnation from you. When the church chooses to condemn you, they are the problem. Those pastors are the problem. Don't see it as that's all God's people. God's people show love. They preach good news. They preach the gospel. They don't preach judgment. They don't preach shame. They don't preach condemnation. So if you're in a church and all you receive is judgment and condemnation and shame, leave that church. Leave that place. Look for a Christ-believing church that shows you love, that accepts your circumstance, that understands your trauma, that you can be vulnerable with. Because if you're coming out of abuse, you don't want to be anywhere you can be vulnerable. You're just going to have further issues. Your mental health will deteriorate. You could be suicidal. Isolation is the devil's workspace. So you don't even want that. And to the pastors or anybody coming across this and you're a leader in church, stop pushing women back into survival. Stop pushing them back into a space they survived. And stop punishing women because they survived pain, because they survived somebody that could have killed them, that was already killing their destiny. That's not what God sent us to do. God sent us to reconcile people back to Him, not far away from Him. So churches, let's be careful. Let's be careful. These women already went through so much. It took a lot for a woman to decide that she's going to leave a man she once loved, that she's going to go and raise her children by herself. It takes a lot. A woman in that situation, it took a lot of determination, a lot of strength for her to overcome the enablers, the judgment, the shame that you people have boxed her in. So let's support these people. Let's help them fit back into the society. Let's help their children. Let's help them. Let's show them love. Let's preach the gospel of good news to them. Anyways, that's it for today. Bye for now.